Hi everybody, we are going to try to do the LeetCode 75 problems. We'll do one in this video and then we'll do more in the other videos. So let's start from the beginning. This is a list called LeetCode 75 on LeetCode for async coding interviews. So let's do with this one, the first one. Hopefully I have not done this before. We'll see once the editor loads. Yep, looks like I haven't done this before. Okay, so I'm solving it live, thinking aloud on all the parts of the problem. So that gives you an idea of how I think about these problems and all the details. Okay, you're given two strings, word 1 and word 2. Merge the strings by adding letters in alternating order, starting with word 1. Okay, if a string is longer than the other, append the additional letters onto the end of the merged string. Interesting. You're given two strings and merge the strings by adding letters in alternating order. I see. So basically you say you pick A from here, then P from here, B from here, Q from here, C, R, etc. And then if there is leftover, then you just pick from that. Okay. This seems a pretty standard merge logic pattern, like merging two sorted lists or merging two sorted arrays and stuff like that, where you basically have to keep like position in two different collections and you move the position in the collection where you pick it from. Here looks like the logic to move is just alternating between each other. So pretty straightforward. I think just getting the details right for all the cases and writing clean code for such problems is important in interviews. So let's try that. So we will have a different string for output, and what we can do is we can do one of two things. We can either use a string builder so that we don't keep on allocating many temporary strings as we are building A, then AP, then APB, etc. Or we know in this case that the length of the string will be, the length of word 1 plus word 2. So we could actually allocate a character array which is that big and then convert that finally to a string, which is what a string builder would anyway do. It will internally allocate a character array, but it doesn't know the size, so it will keep on growing. So I'm going to pick the approach where I do a char array. That is just slightly more efficient in terms of, because we know the size. So okay, so we say result equals new char and word1 dot length plus, I think length is actually a method, not a simple member, word 2 dot length. Since I did a dot, I want to kind of see what if they were null. So I do want to allow for that. So I would do, instead of dot length, I'll just do this int s1 or w1 len equals word1 equal null, then 0, else word1 dot length, and then I'll repeat the same thing for w2. Sorry, not 3, that's 2. 2 and 2. Hopefully this makes sense. It's a very simple, this is what I do when I really code as well, like when I do dot or something, I want to kind of make sure it's fine to do it, and if it is not, then kind of just incrementally fix it. Okay, so we have a character array. Now we need to put characters from one or the other word into the result. So we need three indices. One is the word 1 index where we are in word 1. One is the word 2 index where we are in word 2. And one is the result index. Where do we write it in the result? So let's do that. What we will do is, okay, so let's do w1 index, and I think this could be, this is 0, and w2 index is 0. Everything starts with 0. Sorry, not w3, but result index equal to also 0. So the interesting thing to note is that either we are going to increment w1 or we are going to increment w2. And that's where we need to be a little bit careful on how we write that logic. But the way I want to kind of structure the loop is just to fill up the whole result. And that's the easiest way to do the loop, right? So int I equal to 0. In fact, I could have just done result index equal to thing here actually. Result index equal to 0. Result index is less than a result dot length. I think in arrays it is dot length a member rather than data member rather than a method. But I will check that in a little bit in plus plus result index. Plus plus versus result index versus result index plus plus is a matter of preference. I just have an old habit because of the languages like C and C++, where one is slightly more efficient than the other without compiler optimizations. Even that is not true in modern days. But anyway, it's just an old habit. So you can do either one. Let me just quickly check Java array length. I think it is just a dot length. Array size, length, and loop examples. Yeah, dot length. That's what I kind of remembered from a while ago. And I think in other things you have to do dot length as a method. Okay, so basically I'm trying to fill up the whole result array, right? And what I'm going to do is if I pick from one, then I want to pick from the other one, right? So let's see, how do we do that in a cleanest way? And initially we begin with picking in the word one, right? So let's see. I think if we do an array here, I mean, we could just do with a simple boolean, like is it W1 or W2, right? And we could say boolean is W1 and that could be true, and then we could flip it. Let's see, if it was more than 2 words, that would not scale, but is W1 equal to true, because we start with that. Okay, so we pick from W1 if W1 is true and if W1 has a letter in it. Otherwise, we pick from W2. So what we want to first do is we want to say if, or let's say is W1, and then W1 index is less than W1 dot or W1 len. We have it already, so why not use it? Then we pick the character from W1. W word 1 dot char@, and you just say W1 index, and we also do plus plus W1 index, which I could have done it here, like I could have done W1 index plus plus. I really don't like those postfix operators because of readability, like it's easy to miss that it was done. But anyway, so that's that. And else we say, and here we could, we theoretically we need to check whether W2 has characters, but if W1 doesn't, then W2 must have characters. So one sec, but let me think though. This is an AND condition. Is when do we pick from W1? If W1 is this, I'm just gonna try this first. I think I'm very sure I need to modify something in there, but let me just finish one thing. So it's a result of result index equal to ch. So we pick from one or the other. But I think what I want to figure out is what if W1 is empty? If W1 is empty, then this should be fine. It will pick from there. If W2 is empty, oh, I do need to flip that, but okay. If that means is W1 equal to false, in that case, and W2 is empty, yeah, I think we need to pick from that as well. Okay, so I think here is what we need to do. Or, one second. So I think, yeah, so what we need to do is we say if W2 index is greater or equal to W2 length, or, and then this goes, yeah. So there are two cases where we pick from W1. Either we ran out of characters in W2, then it doesn't matter what the value of this guy is, and in that case if we ran out, then we will have more characters in W1, yeah, because of the, unless we have a bug, which we could check with an exception here inside the if, but I'll skip that for now. And then also, or it is W1's turn even though W2 is not empty and W1 is not empty. So I think those are the conditions in which you pick from W1. Otherwise you pick from W2, and then you do that, and then I think you just do return. I do not remember if this is how you do it. I think it is in Java. Let me see. Let me run through it before I actually manually run through it in my head. ABCPQR. Let's run through that. So in that case, we'll have W1 line is 3, W2 line is 3, and then result is 3 plus 3 is 6. Makes sense. We have to store 6 characters, and then we start all of them, both of them is 0. We start with W1, result index is 0. Okay, so this is not true. We haven't run out. W2 index is 0 and W2 line is 3. So it's not true. So we actually go here, but it is W1's turn and we are within bounds. So we are going to pick A because W1 index is 0, and we are going to increment that. Because we picked it, we want to increment it. Else doesn't get executed, this gets stored A. We go to the next one. Result index is 1. Now we are still not run out of this. Oh yeah, I found the bug. So we need to flip it. We need to flip is W1 equal to not of is W1. Completely forgot that. I remembered it in the middle and then I forgot to add it. Anyway, so yeah, so now that it is flipped, it goes here. This is still not true, but this is false. So it won't really, so this is false and this is false. So it's going to go to else, pick P, go here, and then it's going to store P, again flip it. Now it's again, so in this case, this will work one by one. Let's figure out what happens after C is done. So after C is done, then in that case, our result string will have A, P, B, Q, C. And then after that, it's going to go here, but it's not W1's turn. We not run out, but it's not its turn, so it's going to come out here and do it. Okay, I think I want to run it now. Maybe there is a compiler error or two, but the logic seems okay. Oh, CH, obviously, because it's defined inside. Okay, and that is very silly. Try to declare only when I closest to where I need them. That's why that habit caused me to have that issue. There might be another issue or no. Okay, no, it's not. Okay, so this is good. ABPQRS. Ooh, wait, what happened there? Why? Oh, .toString did not work. Okay. Java convert character array to string. Why is it so hard to find the answer to this? Okay, string dot value of 1. That's interesting. Anyway, I do not know why toString wouldn't work, but okay. I need to find that out later. Let's see if this works. Value of result. Okay, now it says accepted, so maybe it worked. APBQRS makes sense. ABCDPQ makes sense. I do want to add one more case where one is completely empty. Let's see. Empty and PQR should give us PQR, and then ABC and empty should give us ABC. Let's see. Okay. Everything needs to have at least size 1. Well, that was interesting. The code as is would work without that restriction, but it wants to validate there as well. Okay, there you go. Hopefully that was instructive. It took me a little bit to figure out, like, how best to do this. In the end, I decided a simple if condition. If there is more than 2 words, and let's say you are given 4 words and you are supposed to alternate, then you could do like you could put all those strings in another array and have an index of which word you're on and keep on incrementing and roll over. So instead of a boolean, you could do that, and that should be straightforward. I thought of that idea, but because it was just 2 words, I didn't pick that approach. Hopefully this was instructive. See you next time.